Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppets from Space 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I am your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And today we are joined by a first-time guest, a very exciting first-time guest. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Guest. I'm also known as Peter Linz.
Wow.
Wow,
I
it's
know,
Peter
what an
Linz!
introduction.
An extremely special
it.
guest.
I've been
I'm so
practicing that
excited.
line.
A guest who is in this movie.
Guess so.
Peter is not only in this movie, we're going to see him a little later in this clip.
Yeah.
You listeners will not. This is an audio medium. But if you were watching these 2 minutes of the movie,
Which you
would
can.
see Peter you can anytime you want.
Yeah.
There's no law.
Sure. Yeah,
But
that's right. I'm in this scene. I'm in a lot of scenes. Of course, you wouldn't know I was in a lot of scenes in this film, but you'd know in this one for sure.
Right.
for sure. So Peter, we usually have two questions that we ask at the end,
Okay.
but I want to start with one of them, which is, what's your history with this movie, Muppets from Space? Be as
Yeah.
brief or as detailed as you'd like.
Well, I got a phone call while we were working on, it was either season 2 or 3 of Bear in the Big Blue House, asking if I would come to Wilmington to work on this film. And I said, no, I'm not. I don't really like to. Yes, of course, I'm going to want to do this. We shot down in Wilmington on the same lot where they were shooting Dawson's Creek. And originally, I was hired just to, just right hands and background or whatever needed wiggling. And early on, there was a group, we were shooting a group scene, I think outside the cement factory. And Steve had kind of been tapped to double, because Frank was doing post-production work on Bowfinger. And so he wasn't there for most of the filming. So Steve had been doing Miss Piggy, and he's like, I really don't want to do this. Someone else do this. And I'm like, well, I'll do it. And Steve's like, great, here. And Bill Beretta, this is my first time working with Bill Beretta, and so we didn't really know each other. But Bill's like really quietly to me, "You sure? You sure you want to do it? You sure you got this? You sure you got it?" Yeah, I think so. I think I can do this. Yeah. So I ended up performing Piggy, and then of course Frank came in and did ADR and replaced the voice with the real thing. But as Miss Piggy, I got to beat up Andy McDowell, which was fun.
Oh, nice. So yeah, we wanted to ask because from what we've heard, Frank was on set physically for the TV studio sequence,
Exactly.
most
Yeah.
of it, and then some of the speech sequence, or is that true?
Some
Or
of
was
the
he
speech.
the beach?
Oh, the beach, the beach. No, he wasn't there
okay.
for the beach. Frank was there for everything inside the TV studio. So the fight with Josh Charles, I was right-handing for Frank, and that was
Wow, nice.
Oh, nice.
that
Wow.
was really fun. They kept hurting each other like for real, which was hysterical. Um, and yeah, and there's some stuff. There's like a scene where they're all running away. That's not me. I think it's Steve or somebody else doing Piggy there. But all the stuff in the house, all the stuff on the beach. Yeah, I was doing Piggy for that. Yeah, and that was before. Well, it was while Frank was still doing Piggy and before Eric officially became Miss Piggy.
Right.
Right. So what's the process like for that, knowing your voice will not be in the movie, but it needs to seem like Miss Piggy? Like what thoughts go into
Uh,
that?
I mean, just it's not exactly authentic because I'm just coming at it from a fan's perspective, but having grown up with the character and just being an actor, yeah, and impossibly trying to second guess what Frank Oz would do.
Uh,
I mean,
Sure.
fortunately, he ADR'd it, of course, brilliantly and made it his own. So it's a little inauthentic coming from me, but I just tried to do my best to be true to the character and true to Frank, and that's how it happened. And then, of course, I had, as always, I had, as to this day, had Bill Beretta holding my hand, and
Hmm.
Bill is such a consummate actor and performer, and he gives the best notes. If there's something that could be done better, he'll come up and say it very quietly and
hmm.
very, very sweetly, and it's
Hmm.
the best. So I had that as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we do hear your voice as Piggy in the trailer. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
You
know.
say you
Yeah.
say the mood is tense, my hair looks great in the trailer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was just doing a terrible, falsetto. I do not have a pig voice. But yeah, that slipped through the cracks. And then I also did one of the rat Shakes the rat, who doesn't really say much, but he's one of the lab rats.
Is he the one who's been like the medical testing,
He's
Yeah,
the
the
yeah.
caffeine
caffeine one,
test?
The
yeah.
caffeine
Right.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. And oh, probably some other things I don't recall.
Well, that was yeah. When we asked some of our the Tough Pigs team if they had any questions they could come up with, and that was one of them. Is if you could remember any other Muppets or background Muppets you might have done in this, but I know it's been a while, so.
Yeah, I think I did at some point I did well, it was Jerry's character, but I think he was shoot, I don't know if it was Jerry's or it was one of the alien Gonzos was radio controlled. I did a little
Uh,
bit of that. Um, yeah. And gosh, it's been a long time. Sorry, guys.
no, no, it's fine. So you got as
No, hey,
Piggy,
no worries. We totally understand.
yeah, yeah. As Piggy, you do the scene with the mind mist with Ray Liotta, or was that Steve?
I think that was me.
Okay, what was it like working with Ray Liotta?
What a sweetheart. What an incredible, great guy. I remember, and of course, he was on Muppets Most Wanted as well.
Yeah.
And
Right.
just the sweetest guy. He looked all big and tough, but I had a driver. We have drivers bring us like this was actually years later in London or outside of London. We worked on Muppets Most Wanted, and the driver's like, "Yeah, Ray's the greatest guy. He won't let me drive him around. He's like, no, I was in the front seat with you," and he would just
Ah,
talk to the driver about his life, and it's
Huh.
just a really lovely, lovely human being.
oh, that's what that's what you hope to hear about somebody like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, no, he was fantastic. Yeah, I was very lucky to get to work with him twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Did you have other questions, Ryan,
I have a
from the
few
Discord?
if we're yeah, as long as we're kind of going down
I
the
think
list.
I think let's do them
Sure.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Do you have any specific memories about the brick house sequence from the beginning of the movie? That seems like it
Oh
must have been
yeah,
complicated with all those
yeah,
puppeteers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up because actually I did a bunch of stuff in that. Every time a hand does the alarm clock, I think I'm almost every one of those hands. There's maybe
Oh,
one that I'm not, but I remember
Great.
Sweetums smashing the alarm clock, the Sweetums
yeah.
arm, and they're like, okay, we have three alarm clocks. So we got it on the first take with that one.
Oh, that's
And
actually, I'm glad you brought that up because they auctioned off one of those alarm clocks at the Jim Henson
oh,
Company
that's right. I
auction
saw those.
recently. And some people were saying, wait a minute, didn't Sweetums destroy that alarm clock on screen?
There were either two or I know I just said three. There were either two. I think they had three of them, but we got it in one take.
Okay,
That's why they had one to auction off
one
so
that
many years later.
survived. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
one survived. And Sam Eagle with his little,
Wing.
with the wing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I did a bunch of those. Yeah. And then of course I did Piggy trying to pick out her outfit for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, I think I was the penguin in the bathtub it was Sweetums scrubbing the penguin.
Yeah, he grabs a penguin
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah,
scrubs it. Yeah.
I think I was that penguin. Oh, and the coolest thing in the whole brick house thing was that and if someone else has talked about this, stop me and I won't repeat it. But they had this really cool shot with the set where they were gonna have, gosh, I guess they're gonna have one of the full body characters, Sweetums or somebody walk up the stairs and the camera was gonna see the steps, going up the stairs, the
Oh.
camera would come around and then you'd see Kermit walking down the same stairs that you just saw something big walk up. And they built this, this living room set inside a soundstage, and it was really clever what they had done. So they had the stairs were there, but they were built onto this separate giant set piece on wheels. And after someone walked up the stairs, when the camera panned around, you couldn't actually see the steps anymore. They would roll the stairs out of the way. Underneath the stairs was a ramp that had tracks on it. And Steve was doing Kermit, and he was strapped into this board on wheels. And I think he had maybe had the goggles that had the monitor in them. And so you'd have someone going up the stairs and you'd see the steps, and then the camera would swing around so the solid banister was hiding where the steps were. They'd roll the steps out, and then Kermit would walk down the stairs, and it would just be Steve on this little roller coaster thing coming down.
Wow.
And it was such a cool set, and they didn't use that shot.
That shot's not in there.
So
Yeah,
they,
I
Shot's
wonder
not
yeah, I
why
in
was
there.
gonna say,
not.
so they actually shot this whole thing and
Oh
didn't use
yeah,
it.
yeah. We shot that.
Wow.
It never got
Uh,
used. Yeah.
Huh.
that's unfortunate.
It is. It is.
Another thing I would not expect you to remember necessarily, but did you remember if you had a complete copy of the script, like at the beginning of the project?
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I still have it.
Oh,
We did a table read, and that's often the thing with movies. A few days before you start, you'll sit down and read the script, and even during filming, things are always changing. You're getting new pages.
right. So when we interviewed Joey Mazzarino, Johannes and myself, a few years ago, he talked about when he did his rewrite of the film, his version, or his first version anyway, had a lot more sci-fi pop culture parodies in it.
Yeah, that's what
Do you
yeah.
remember if like were those in the shooting script? Did they get
Not
cut at the last
they were not
minute? Or
they were not in the shooting script.
okay, so they were already
I was a later addition to the cast, so I heard about that, and gosh, I wish it had been that. I mean,
sure.
it would have been never mind. But when I make my Muppets from Space movie, it's going to be like
Yeah.
Joey's, chock full of sci-fi parodies that the Muppets do, which makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
No, alas, I never got to see that script.
Okay, so then it sounds like it was more or less pretty close to what we see in the finished movie.
Ish, yeah, it was.
Okay.
I remember thinking of that first table read. Where's all the sci-fi, parodies here? That's
Oh
just
yeah.
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. So, in addition to discussing the movie in general, Peter is joining us for minutes 67 and 68 of Muppets from Space. In these minutes, the Muppets and some humans wait around at the beach for aliens to show up. And that's kind of it. There's not a lot of action here
It's
until the end.
a lot of
Uh,
staring up into the sky in these 2 minutes.
There was a
right.
lot of internal action on my part, I can tell you.
Ah.
Why is that? What do you mean?
I
Like,
was never more nervous in my life. I was just losing my mind with nerves. I could do puppets all day. I'm a puppeteer for a reason. But I
Oh
was out
sure.
there. I was not. I was like, what does my face look like? How's my eye focus? Is my lip sync okay?
mm,
To be on camera.
oh, sure.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
be on
Playing a
camera.
human. Yeah,
I
sure.
was terrified. Oh man. Yeah.
But we do not begin there. We begin with Peter as Miss Piggy, in fact. The
Oh
first
yes,
thing
the
we
mood is
see
trim.
is almost the first thing we see is Miss Piggy, who has now become exhausted. She was excited earlier. Now she very tiredly says, "It's 1 a.m. The alien is still standing over there. My hair still looks great."
I agree with her, by the way. I think her hair does look great considering it's 1 a.m.
Yeah. One can only wonder what Gonzo's feeling right now. Now, I have a question about for you gentlemen. Just Peter, I don't expect you to have any info on this, but is UFO Mania live on for 24 hours? Like, why is she reporting live at 1
Oh.
a.m.?
Maybe so. Maybe it was a UFO Mania special event, special live event.
Right, because they found an alien.
Yeah, or
So
they're just gonna cut it, like trim it down and show the edit of the most important parts later. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question.
I don't know. Yeah.
You have to remember this is we were shooting this in 98, 99, the winter of
Mhm.
98, 99, and there wasn't as much on television then.
Ah,
So
right.
I just
That's
let it
true.
go.
That's true. That's true.
Actually, is
Uh,
the Cape Doom, is this a soundstage or is it a
It was a
combination
soundstage.
of it's all soundstage? Yeah.
Uh, I think people arriving at the beach and coming off a bus and in the parking lot was on location, but the vast majority of the scene at the beach is on a big old soundstage.
Yeah, okay.
okay.
That's what we
That makes
figured.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I do like is, as Piggy says, one can only wonder what Gonzo's feeling right now. Chip is behind her. And
Yeah.
we get a very clear shot of Chip turning around and nodding as she says this, which is great. Love
Great.
to see that guy.
Yeah, somewhere in the DVD commentary, I don't remember if it's this shot, but um Gonzo and Rizzo refer to Chip. What is the name? It's something like Lester Zduengo, which I don't know
That sounds right.
if they just made that up as a joke when they saw the puppet or if that was some nickname that was given to that character at some point. But yeah,
No idea. So
but
sorry.
now we recognize him as Chip, the breakout character of the Muppets 2015. TV series.
That's right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Uncle Deadly. It wasn't Gloria Stefan. It wasn't Gloria
It,
Stefan the
I mean,
Penguin.
it
I
was
was gonna
all of
say
them.
Gloria Stefan is right
Gloria
here.
Stefan the Penguin was the real breakout star, but
Yes, yes, of
I
course.
digress.
I kind of think so.
Yeah.
But anyways, Gonzo, meanwhile, we cut to Gonzo, who has resigned himself to the fact that the aliens aren't coming. He says they're not coming. Kermit tries to encourage him. Maybe they're just running a little late. Gonzo announces it's a no-show. It's a no-show.
Oh, my
And
cue.
and then a man in the crowd says, "What? Wait a second. I believed you, man." And
Yeah.
that man in the crowd, that human person, is our guest today, Peter Linz.
Ah!
So
So that human person and the other human persons there, Drew Massey and John Kennedy, Ricky Boyd. So originally that was going to be like Bill and Steve and I don't know if Jerry was part of it, but whatever I don't know whose decision it was. But Bill's like, no, I don't want to do it. Let these guys do it.
Oh.
So yeah, Bill generously say, no, these guys should get to do that. So that's how we all ended up there.
well that
And
that is something I was wondering about because in the early, in the Jim era movies, it's always Jim and Frank and Richard,
right, yeah.
So it is interesting that it's you guys.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know where that came from originally, if it was from the director or I have no idea. But I just know that it was going to be, Steve's in one of the shots, and it was going to be,
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
know.
we saw
But
him.
Bill said, no, let these guys should do it. Let these guys do it. And
Mhm.
so I was asked, and I said, yeah. And then I started freaking out from then until we shot it. And by the way, the line as written in the script was, "Hey, wait a minute, I believed you."
Hmm.
The man was acting.
Oh.
That was like
Nice.
we did one take where I did the line as written, and then it's like, Shh, just relax, just relax. And so I relaxed so much, and man came out of my mouth. And fortunately, they used that take because it was a lot better than the "what? Hey, wait a minute, I believed you" version that I did before.
I think the man actually it fits with the look of your
Well, that was
character.
Right.
the other thing. Yeah, hair and makeup had a lot of fun. I had a little more hair in those days, and they went to town on me there with the face
And that
paint
was
and braids and things. Yeah.
Yeah, and was that look enjoyable? Like, was it enjoyable to wear? Did you feel like you were inhabiting the character?
I don't think I knew enough to know that I should be inhabiting the character at
Hmm.
that point in my career.
Yeah, and a question our friend Megan asked was about your braids. Like, so that was your real hair that they put the braids
It was
in,
my
and
real hair.
yeah.
Yep. But it was a lot thicker then, like I say. And yeah. The hair and makeup people, they put funny braids in my hair and then did the face painting and all, and for all the guys, and
Oh
found stuff
yeah, all
there.
yeah, all four of you have the like
Mhm.
the silver alien
And that was
face
actually really
paint.
fun. That was a unique thing as a puppeteer, getting to go through wardrobe and hair and makeup. That's not the sort of thing we usually get to do.
Oh right.
So that
Yeah.
was pretty
Sure.
fun.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
kind of have the most normal costume of the four of
I
you
do actually. Yeah,
because
I got off easy.
yeah, Ricky Boyd has this kind of weird futuristic contraption on his head, and John
Mhm.
Kennedy is wearing this silver helmet. And I guess
Okay.
Drew Massey is a little bit more normal too, wearing I think some kind of silver pajamas.
Yeah, he
Um,
had, and I think he had Drew had a little more face paint too, I
yeah,
think.
I think so.
Yeah, he has like kind of kiss makeup-y face
It does
paint.
look
Yeah,
like Kiss,
yeah, that's
Kind of.
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember a time in my life or career when I've been more nervous than
Wow.
doing that line. I know. I've done a lot of auditions and a lot of live performances, and I think that's literally the most nervous I've ever been in front of an audience.
Huh. Well, there is
Is that right?
a page on Muppet Wiki called Peter Linz cameos. So there have been a couple more, but I guess maybe this is the only one where you had a line. Most of them are Sesame Street
I was going to say,
appearances where
yeah, I've been a background extra on
you're just
Sesame
kind of
Street.
passing by. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe,
And you
yeah.
were and you were on the Puzzle Place
Oh, right. Oh,
on
God,
the
that was so
episode where
embarrassing.
Leon is addicted to TV, right? You're
Oh
in
my
a soap opera or
gosh.
something, right? A commercial.
Yes. Oh, I'm in a couple of different things. Yeah, well, Carmen Ospar does a soap opera with her dog Dexter at the
Oh,
time.
right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Alice Deneen and I did oh my God. Well, this is when Barney was really huge, and
Mm.
And there was a little bit of a backlash against Barney. Now I'm friends with Bob West. I won't say anything bad about Barney, but we did a little parody show. Sorry, everyone. This is sidebar from like the mid '90s, but we did a commercial for a show called Everybody. It wasn't a commercial. It was the show Everybody's Always Good and Happy, and we were dressed
Right.
in these pastel onesies with bunny ears, and we were hopping around this really cheap, cheesy set, singing "Everybody's Always Good and Happy."
Right. Yeah, great. No, that was not an unnecessary sidebar. It is a
Oh
thrill
man.
for me to discuss that with you.
Oh my God. And then we also did an American, it was like an American Express commercial. Hi, I'm not a puppet, but I play one on TV. Um
Right.
play on
Oh,
the old
that's
I'm
funny.
not a doctor, but I play one on TV, so I know about medicine. There's I'm not a puppet, but I play one on TV. When I travel, I use the American Access card. And I had a little puppet say something
Right.
stupid.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, in that same episode. Yeah.
Same episode. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Ah, deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep cut,
Sure.
Anthony. Deep
That was one of the ones I had on tape.
cut.
Uh but yeah, so what else was I going to say? Another question we got was, do you have the Gonzo nose, the clay Gonzo nose?
Oh my gosh, I used to have the gun. They were actually molded. I think they were latex. They were kind of rubbery.
Hmm.
I used to. It may have disintegrated.
Oh.
My Gonzo
Oh, is that
nose may
right?
have disintegrated. Yeah, I have not seen. I think maybe it melted away. But I do
That kind
have.
of makes sense.
Yeah, I do have something else that's kind of cool. Now, do you guys, does this only come out as a podcast, or do people get to watch the video version of it as well?
We just do audio.
Just audio. I will describe it. What I'm holding up right now?
It is the door in a jar.
It's a plastic
Peter is
container. Muppet Labs door in a jar. The label is badly faded, but
Yeah, but that's it.
yeah.
Wow. Is it still in there? Is there some kind of liquid still
No,
in there, or is it?
so there was they just dumped some glow stick juice into these
Okay.
things, and for many years it was just in there. You can the day glow color is sort of still there, but it kind of ate through the plastic at the bottom of this thing, and a little paper
Oh,
coaster to catch the drip. So I have a little
yeah.
sort of piece of paper at the bottom because it's sticky. But yeah, no, it's all dried out now.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I thought you all would like to see
Yes,
door in it.
Oh
that's a
man.
great souvenir.
Yes,
Good.
that is
And
wonderful.
at one point, there's a there's if you build it, they will come okay, and you build a jacuzzi. There's a party in the backyard, and there was a shot. I don't know what's in the final film, but Swedish Chef was at the hibachi. It was like throwing shrimp and things around.
Yeah.
I used to have a couple of fake shrimp from that scene, but
Oh,
those have gone away as well. But I still
huh.
have door in the
Uh,
jar. That's still it.
that's that's wonderful. That is
It
a delight.
never occurred to me that they would have to use fake shrimp for that, but of course they would. Like you can't
Oh
use
yeah,
real food, especially with puppets. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, exactly,
Huh.
exactly. The other
Yeah.
souvenir I got from that film was unintentional, but Alice Deneen, who's been my one of my best friends for 35 years,
Hmm.
and it ended up being my wife two and a
Yeah.
half years ago, and so I got that too, I guess.
Oh, nice.
You
Aw.
see all of
But
the work on that film.
this was not the first time you met. You were on the puzzle place together. Duh.
We were, and
Unlike
we actually
Allison. I'm
met
like,
we met years
she's
before
Julie, of
that.
course.
Yeah, we
Oh, you
met
did?
years before that in Atlanta. Yeah, when I just come returned home from after my first season on Sesame Street, and she had just graduated college.
Huh.
So
Oh.
we met. I think she was 2 weeks out of college when we met. We were both babies.
Huh.
We were
Sure.
children. And I'm like, oh, you're
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Aw. That's great.
It also related to the Gonzo nose. Our friend JD asked how you feel about being typecast in Muppet movies as a guy who believes in a Muppet so much he dresses like him.
First of all, JD, I love the question.
I had never thought about that, but yeah.
Yet another benefit of being a puppeteer is typically you don't get typecast because what you look like shouldn't matter. Or
Right.
mostly doesn't matter. I always say I have a face for puppetry. But that being said, that's really funny. I come by it honestly.
Oh,
I'll
good.
say that.
Yeah.
And you play what you know.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How do I feel? I feel that feels great. I had never thought about it that way.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah.
But,
I don't suppose they let you keep Walter's Kermit costume as a souvenir on that one.
no,
So that's
no,
still out there somewhere in
it's still out there somewhere.
in
Yeah,
storage. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, getting back to the movie, after you have your line. The other puppeteers have lines.
Mhm.
Drew Massey says, "Yeah, I stayed up all night dancing and didn't study for finals because of you." And have we discussed Drew Massey on this podcast? We have, right? We talked
Oh,
about him. We talked about him in Victory Arid playing Statler and Waldorf and
oh,
stuff,
I think
right?
probably, yeah.
Already. I think so. That I mean, he's done so many things.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
always what I think of him as, which is perhaps unfair.
That's
Well,
unfair. The Foster Farms chicken. And
What I don't know what that
what was
is.
that in?
oh, it's a local commercial in Southern California. Um,
Oh, is that right?
and Brendar the Barbarian and Cousin
Oh,
Skeeter and Drew's done. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
oh, right. He was Cousin Skeeter, of course. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And you worked on Cousin Skeeter, right?
I did the pilot. I did the
Hmm.
pilot in New
You
York,
performed
and
Skeeter in the pilot.
I did. And then
Hmm.
they offered the series to me, but they wanted me to move to literally move to California, and I had young children, and I had Sesame Street, and
Oh,
there are other things going on here, so I turned it down.
yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, I just did the pilot.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Again with Alice Deneen. Alice assisted me on that one, and then
Was that right?
she ended up doing the series with Drew. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Um,
I do like this guy. I mean, it is if he's a college student, this character that Drew Massey is playing, it does seem like college student logic, but he made the decision to come here and stay up all night dancing. It's not Gonzo's fault.
Yeah, but you know what? At that age, your frontal cortex is not fully
Exactly.
matured, and he can't, the rational thinking isn't completely there yet.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
right. And then John Kennedy says, "I'm cold. Come on, let's go." And so I always think of John Kennedy as Horton the elephant from Wobulus World of Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
Mm,
Like I know again, he was Floyd for a little while, right? I don't know if we've talked about that. He's going to be
yeah.
Floyd in what's that album called?
Is it him on A Green and Red Christmas?
Green and Red Christmas, right? He's
Yeah.
Floyd in that. He's Dr. Teeth in this movie. He
Oh,
played.
yeah.
So we did talk about him then, I guess.
Yeah.
this is the film when I found out that John Kennedy was a dancer. I had no idea, and
Oh,
the
is that
guy,
Oh,
right?
incredible dancer. Yeah, incredible dancer.
that's a fun fact.
Well, there's a shot of him in the party of him doing. If I'm remembering this right, yeah, I
Oh,
see him doing a whole thing.
okay. We'll have to.
Am I wrong?
Hmm.
Oh dear, we haven't
No,
gotten to
no,
that
no,
yet.
no. We'll keep an eye out for it. We're recording these
Okay.
episodes out of order, so
Oh, right on.
if we
Okay.
have not gotten to that clip yet, we'll keep an eye out for it, or we'll keep an eye out for it in the future and
Right.
look for
Well, I
him
think
dancing.
it would be at the beach, presumably, right? And we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
Mhm.
we have a few scenes before this at the beach to do yet.
Gosh, if it's not in the film, it's definitely in the outtakes, but I think it's in the film. I think there's a shot. Yeah, when they're all dancing to celebrate. Sorry,
Oh,
you
so
haven't
that's
gotten there
later.
yet.
Yeah, we'll look for it.
Yeah, look for
Oh,
John.
oh
He's
yeah.
got
I
a
suppose they all
big
don't.
dancing moment.
I suppose you guys don't leave. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah. Well, because
because
of what happens next.
Yeah.
yeah, because what's about to happen is the Gonzo fans are all walking away. They're throwing signs in the fire cans, walking away. They're all looking dejected. Someone, presumably you, throws a clay Gonzo nose at the actual Gonzo. But which I mean, your character. I don't know that you actually did it, but
I
Gonzo
might
gets hit in the
have. I
face with
actually might have done that, but I don't recall. I know I was there. I
sure,
certainly witnessed it.
yeah, sure. But Gonzo gets hit in the face with a clay recreation of his actual nose, which seems terrifying. I don't want someone to throw my own body parts at me.
No, that's very insulting.
And unsettling.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. But then suddenly a little girl turns around, points to the sky, and says, "Look!" And then we see a trail of smoke hurling through the sky down towards the earth. Various Muppets and people gasp. Gonzo's eyes widen. The smoke cloud opens up, and a red and black egg emerges. And how was this done, Peter? Is this CGI coming through the sky, or is it practical? Do you know?
Well, it was done in post, the stuff coming through the sky, as far as I know.
Sure.
There were parts of the ship that were practical.
Hmm.
Obviously, the stage, they eventually come from. And I remember there being like a big giant landing gear foot, one or two of those, and they were going to paint the rest of it in. Um,
Oh, is that right?
yeah, a lot of that stuff I saw for the first time when I saw the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure, I suppose. And I
but they
say
did.
CGI,
Yeah,
but I just mean like matted in,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
That's what I would mean. Yeah,
That's
in
right.
1998. Okay, interesting. But then the egg slowly descends to the ground, and we see that it's quite small. It's larger than a normal egg. It's not a chicken egg size. It's like about as big as one of the giant golden goose eggs from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I would say that's
It's
about how big this egg is.
bigger than a bread box, but not very much bigger than a bread box.
Well, see,
Right.
that shot just of the egg, that was a special effects shot, so I wasn't there for that actual shot.
Okay.
Sure, that makes sense too. But presumably you were there when Kermit and Gonzo walk up to it and start to examine it. And that's the last thing we see in this clip.
That's where this 2-minute clip
That's
ends.
that's where we end. Kermit and Gonzo approach the egg and nothing happens yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll have to come back next time to find out what's inside that egg.
I was also thinking it looks like an egg timer, one of those old-fashioned egg timers that is shaped like an egg.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
So maybe the next thing that happens is it dings and then there's eggs for everybody.
Maybe it's filled with chocolate, okay?
There you go.
Maybe.
Awesome. All right. So, any other thoughts about these 2 minutes, or anything else you want to share about your experience on Muppets from Space before we go, Peter? I'll start
Wow,
with
I
you.
think I shared all the stuff. It was fun hanging out with oh gosh, I'm gonna lose their names. With two of the stars from Dawson's Creek, we hung out
Katie
a lot.
Holmes and Joshua
Katie
Jackson.
Holmes and
Yes, Josh Action. Yeah, they were great. They were so sweet. And yeah, that was very fun. Oh, right. And hanging around the trash can. That's another thing I did. But I think it was Clifford, and then of course Kevin looped it. Uh,
Hmm.
when they're with Josh and Katie.
Hmm.
So you're
Clifford.
Clifford in that?
Yeah,
scene?
yeah. You want to partake in the partay. Yeah,
Is that
that's
right?
right. That's right. I was Clifford for that. Then obviously Kevin dubbed it over.
Wow, it would be fascinating
about
to
that.
see the undubbed cut of this entire movie, just
Oh my
to
God, wouldn't it?
hear
Yikes.
all the
Yeah, you
different
want to partake in the
voices.
partay, and then the other. Who else was there at the can? It was Clifford and
It's just Clifford and Pepe,
Just Clifford and
right?
Pepe.
Pepe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember Alice being there too, but maybe she was probably assisting Pepe. I don't know. She's
Hmm.
not here to ask right now. She's teaching a workshop tonight in LA.
Oh, cool.
All right. And then Ryan, any other thoughts before we go? Anything from the screenplay drafts or anything?
No, because not a lot happens in this clip, so there's not a lot that corresponds to it in the drafts. But the only other thing in my notes was when everyone first notices the thing coming out of the sky, Rizzo runs over to Beaker and points up in the sky, and Beaker looks, which I just thought was a fun little detail. I don't know,
Oh.
why or how that happens or whose idea that might have been,
Well, that's cute.
but
Maybe
yeah.
Steve. Steve always had fantastic ideas with his characters.
Okay, yeah, because it's for
Both
some
in their
reason
accent and the way they move. Yeah.
Beaker's not looking up yet like everyone else is, and Rizzo just kind of gestures up and Beaker looks. So just
Oh,
just makes the shot more interesting. So yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Very nice.
All right. And then, Peter, as I said, we have two questions we always ask our guests. We covered one of them already. The other one is because this is a science fiction movie, what is your favorite science fiction movie or TV show or other property?
Oh, geez. I mean, this is such low-hanging fruit. Well, first of all, the original Star Wars, 1977, as screened. None of this
Oh yeah,
Sure.
CGI garbage.
not special edition.
Yeah, I mean, I was just the best age for that when that came out. And also guilty pleasure is Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no one's brought that up yet.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
know yeah. It's very like patriarchy heavy and all that, but doggone it, I like it.
yeah, it's fun. It's just a fun movie.
It's just
But
Multipass.
yeah, multipass. Yeah, yeah.
all right. But you would say Star Wars is for the actual quality, or should we put fifth? So I'm going to tell you, Ryan
Anthony is
is making
asking.
a pie chart.
Yeah.
Ryan is
Oh.
making a pie chart, and he's going to
Okay.
want one answer, and
I'm
he's
making a
probably not
list,
going to
but
ask you. So
I could
I'm
also
asking.
Okay.
put both of your answers down as your answer.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
want to force you to choose one.
no. I appreciate that. That's very generous of you. I mean, Star Wars was so iconic for so long, but I mean, and now it's been like, of course, it's all over the place. But that original 1977 film, yeah, is pretty fantastic. But doggone, I do like Fifth Element as well. Shoot.
We'll put them both.
I'll
We'll
put you
put them
down for
both. It's
both.
no
Yeah.
big deal.
Okay. All right. Good.
All right. Awesome.
I
I
was trying.
feel
Yeah. Good.
Oh, I was just going to say before you wrap everything up, Anthony, I feel like we would be remiss to our listeners if we didn't at least ask, like, is there any like fun behind the scenes tidbits you could tell us about the Muppet Show special that everyone's still watching and rewatching?
Thank you, by the way, everyone, for watching and
Yes.
rewatching. Keep up the good work. We don't have a series order yet, so
Okay.
keep it up.
Or which characters you might have played. I mean, the
Oh, I can tell
characters
you
you were
that.
credited as, obviously, but any
Yeah,
other
sure,
background
sure.
characters or just
No, so well, obviously, of course, some Robin.
sure.
There's only like he only says one little thing. And Statler, obviously,
Hmm.
in the balcony. And and Lips,
Right.
most of the time. Now, and then characters you might not know that it was me. The shady guy who says you can't trust anyone. That was
Oh,
me.
that's you.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
you?
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
There
great.
was some
That's
debate
funny.
about that when
Oh,
the
is that
special
right?
first, yeah, I think because it sounds kind of like it could be a Bill Beretta voice,
Oh yeah, it could be a Bill Beretta voice. No, that was
but
me.
that's you. Okay,
That
cool.
was me. Yeah, yeah. Been burned
And you're
before.
Lord Scrappleton in Pigs and
I'm Lord
Wings, right?
Oh
Scrappleton.
yeah.
That's right. Yep, yep.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's
Yes.
wonderful. Love that
Thank
performance.
you. I had a magnificent time playing him. And I'm Alice and I are the two chickens splitting Sabrina Carpenter. I think I'm on her left and Alice is on her right for the chicken choreography stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm the rat. I'm one of the rats, of course, in Blinding Lights. The one that's got his head up inside the vending machine and then looks and then walks over. Um, I think I'm also the one that carries the bird out at the end. But we're all
Okay.
we're all,
Yeah,
we're all
yeah.
rats. Uh, gosh, is that it? And then
Were
for the
you
big
any of the plants or fish or
oh yeah, I was the
islands in the
alligator.
stream?
I
And
was the
oh, okay.
alligator. Yeah, and that's an original. By the way, that is an original Muppet Show alligator.
Is it
Um,
really?
Oh,
it's
Great.
the original one. It was
You
so
love to hear
cool.
it.
It's
yeah.
just carved foam, and it's amazing that it's still holding together. But
Right. So that probably from the Elton John episode, like
yeah,
that was one of the same ones. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was really cool.
Oh,
That
that's
was
great.
really
Yeah.
flash. Good, thank you. Good question. Um, is that it? That might be it. And
Okay.
then the
Well,
end, like this, the big giant group scene at the end. I mean, there are close-up shots where I'm in Link when I'm in Link Hogthrob, and I'm Link.
mm,
Oh, God, a whole bunch of different things in the windows and the opening number, the opening song.
oh, sure.
Um, yeah, and I think at the end I was helping out Eric doubling up. I was doing Fozzie for a lot of the big song at the end.
Right.
Uh, except if it was on, there was a group with Poogie. I think I was Link in the background of that, and
Okay.
Robin when he first walks in. There was a lot of switching around for
Yeah,
that
it
job.
sounds like it.
And there was like a moment where I was in Lips, and they did this nice close-up shot, but the rest of the time someone else was doing Lips because I was down doing other things.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there's just so many shots where there's so many Muppets in the
We had
frame.
a
So
big crowd, big crowd
yeah.
of puppeteers that
Yeah.
days. Oh, it was really fun to work on.
Well, the fans are
That's
loving
great.
it, and yeah, it seems like pretty much unanimous
But I'm
that
psyched.
that's a great
I love that, but
special.
I'm also psyched about there's folks that are not hardcore fans that are finding it, and
Yeah. I mean,
and that's
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I never
I've,
expect that my parents will watch a new Muppet thing, but my parents told me they watched it when it was on ABC,
oh
and they
wow,
really enjoyed it. Yeah. So
yay!
yeah.
well, and like, so I'm a school librarian, and
Oh cool.
thank you. My students know that I'm a Muppet fan.
Mhm.
I have like the Kermit and Piggy Reed shirt that I wear to school or whatever.
Yeah.
And a fifth grader made a point to tell me that she watched it and it was funny. So,
Okay. That's high
Wow.
praise from a
so,
fifth grader.
Very high
so there we
praise.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Thank you. This has been
This
great.
this has been a real thrill.
Oh, you guys are nice. Well,
And
thank you for having me. And boy, I hope everyone's got a real strong idea now. What those minutes 67 and 68 did you say?
that's right.
That was it. Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I hope we all have a much clearer understanding of minutes 67 and 68 now.
That's what we're here for.
Well, I think we do, thanks to you.
Oh,
And listeners, we'll be back next time. In the meantime, you can check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're all over the place. You can become a Tough Pigs patron on Patreon. You can email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com to tell us that you wish you had your own door in a jar.
Mm.
You can follow Ryan on Blue Sky at me, Ryan Rowe, and on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper and on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. Peter, do you have anywhere you want people to find you online, or any upcoming projects you want to plug, anything like that?
Don't find me online. No, I'm trying to be online less, frankly. But
Okay.
new projects, yeah. I think there's another batch of Sesame Street episodes dropping soon on Netflix. I think in March. I'm sorry, I don't have exact dates.
Yeah, I think by the time this podcast episode is released, though, this will be up. So yes, definitely.
Oh, great!
People
So
should
there's
watch
some new
this.
episodes of Sesame Street that
Yeah.
have dropped. And I can't give you a specific one, but I can tell you we've been working very hard on content for the Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney Hollywood
Ooh.
Studios in Orlando, which is, I believe, opening this summer.
Yeah, I'm really
Awesome.
looking forward to seeing the final product of that.
I can't tell you a thing except I think it's,
No, I know.
I think it's gonna be pretty darn cool.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
that's
pretty neat.
exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And so thank you again, Peter. And thank you, as always, to Jordan Brandon for composing our theme music, and to Morgan Davy for designing our logo. Thank you to you, listener, for giving us a positive review and for telling all of your friends about the show. And of course, for joining us next week for another episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good. Bye-bye.